Welcome everyone. Today's presentation will show you how to build your own do-it-yourself air conditioner. This is a fun and practical project if you plan on going outside in the summer and is a good way to save time and money if your air conditioner goes out, especially in humid heat. Additionally, if you're on a budget, a DIY air conditioner is a great way to stay cool till your air conditioner is up and running again. In order to build your DIY air conditioner, you're going to need to collect a few things from around your house or from a local store. When building a temporary or inexpensive AC replacement, you need to think about the price and effectiveness of the container you'll be using. After doing a little bit of research and watching other similar DIY projects, a styrofoam cooler is hands down the best choice. Styrofoam is a great insulator and is easy to work with for containing both hot and cold items. Best of all, a styrofoam cooler is the least expensive type of container you can use. Additionally, you can use it to carry drinks or pack it with ice in order to travel long distances to avoid spoiling what is inside. However, not all styrofoam products are the same. Some styrofoam manufacturers' products are denser than others, which makes them easier to cut and work the material. Brands will mention the thickness of the foam in their product descriptions. Other products that make great containers for this DIY project include gallon or larger size buckets or large plastic travel coolers. However, they will require additional installation at a higher cost to buy and power tools to shape effectively. Next, you're going to need to find a small desk or travel fan. It is preferable that is between 5 inches and 8 inches in size and has an on and off switch on the back side of the unit. The fan can be battery operated, USB wired, or have a traditional cord and wall plug. If you want to get fancy, you can look at camping fans, which also have a solar recharging option for use outdoors. In order to make the AC unit more versatile, you will want to buy two PVC pipes between 3 inches and 5 inches in diameter. For the purpose of this project, we'll be using 3-inch PVC pipes to release and direct the cold air you'll be generating within the unit. Additionally, you're going to want to have duct tape or acrylic tape on hand, an X-Acto knife or X-Acto blade or box cutter to cut and shape the styrofoam, and a black pen or Sharpie and scissors. Prices may vary for the listed required items, but it should not cost more than $30 to get them all. After you have finished gathering your materials, you will need to think about your cooling source. You have quite a few options. Your first option is to use frozen bottles of water and place them in the unit to cool the air and drink later. Plastic freeze packs if you're planning on using the unit indoors for long periods of time, or you can buy a few blocks of dry ice wrapped in paper bags if you need a colder option for a larger space or outdoors. Take some time to gather your materials and we will begin. If you need to pause the video, do so, and then hit play to follow along. Your first step is to trace the lid in preparation to cut and shape 3 sections for the PVC fittings and fan. To do this, you will need to choose the locations for each piece you want to trace. Pick up one of the PVC fitting pieces and trace around it once for each location you have chosen. Make sure to to trace straight down along the edge to get as flush of a surface as possible between the PVC fittings and styrofoam. For the fan, you'll need to trace at a slight angle under the side of the edge of the fan where the front and back meet. The goal is to make the cut so the edge of the fan still rests on top without having to secure it completely. Once you have finished tracing the top, you will then have to make a series of cuts on each of the sides of the traced portion. As you work the styrofoam, make short, slow cutting motions to reduce the risk of damaging the foam. This will help to prevent the lid from cracking or tearing as you cut and shape it. Be very careful when working with any type of knife or cutting instrument, and always make sure of the position of your hands and fingers on the styrofoam before you make a cut. If you're not used to this type of cutting or activity, take your time and go slowly. You can always cut away more during this process if you start towards the middle of the trace section. The fan cuts will be at an angle inward or straight down. Make 4 cuts, one on each side of the trace circle. After making your initial cuts downward from the bottom of the lid to the top, Flip the lid over and make a new set of circular cuts. Then cut out the styrofoam between both. Make sure you're holding the flat side of the lid away from the blade with one hand as you make small cuts with the other. Once you're done cutting away and smoothing the styrofoam, you can begin attaching the individual parts. Watch out for weak or thin sections in the styrofoam. Use tape to reinforce sections before attaching anything to the lid. First, take a PVC pipe and insert it down into one of the two holes into the lid that you traced. Place your hand on the bottom of the lid, directly under the cut opening, and slowly rotate and push the piece back and forth so it stretches the foam. This is the best method to attach it. Do the same for the second PVC fitting. Next, you're going to want to attach the fan by placing it face down. If you need to, secure the sides with tape along the edges and base so it can't move or shift. Make sure you don't cover the on-off switch or compartment if the fan will use batteries. Use tape to secure the back and front sides of the lid to the container. If you're using frozen bottles of water, you will want to make sure it can be opened and closed again. Next, you'll want to fill your cooler with your chosen cooling choice, and you're ready to go. Enjoy a short video of me filling the unit and putting it into action in order to test how well it works. If you want to see how well your unit cools, you can get an infrared thermometer to see the temperature difference once the unit is active. This is a great way to test the unit and see how efficient it is. Unfortunately, I was already in a sufficiently cool room, so the drop in temperature was only a difference of 8 degrees. Thank you for joining me for this presentation. Look forward to more videos at the Yuma County Library YouTube page.